Did you know that the Roman army functioned like a small city on campaigns? Hello and welcome to World History Encyclopedia. My name is Kelly and today's video is all about Roman warfare and how it worked so well. Don't forget, the easiest way to support us is by giving this video a thumbs up, subscribing to our channel, and hitting that bell icon for notifications so you don't miss out on any of our new uploads. World History Encyclopedia is a non-profit organisation and you can find us on Patreon, a brilliant site where you can support our work and receive exclusive benefits in return. Your support helps us create videos twice a week. So make sure to check it out via the pop-up in the top corner of the screen or via the Patreon link down below. Rome, from the time of the Republic onward, developed one of the most effective fighting forces in world history, and Roman warfare turned a small trade city on the banks of the Tiber River into the capital of the greatest empire in the world up to that time. Roman warfare was so effective because of Roman ingenuity and resources. They developed a highly disciplined army that included an engineering corps, a centralized command, clear supply lines along Roman roads, and a large population to draw on for soldiers. Roman diplomacy in every era was also usually extremely effective, as were alliances. The primary reason for Rome's military success, however, was that it was in a constant state of readiness from the time of the Punic Wars between 264 and 146 BCE until the fall of the Western Roman Empire in 476 CE, and was able to deploy troops quickly who functioned efficiently. The city of Rome was founded in 753 BCE, and during the time of the Kingdom of Rome, which spanned from 753 to 509 BCE, there was no professional fighting force. The king would conscript male citizens of fighting age for campaigns when needed, and when the war was over, the army was disbanded. These forces usually numbered less than 10,000 men who fought in the phalanx formation, adopted from the Greeks, who the Romans knew through trade and their conquest of Greek colonies on the Italian peninsula. During the time of the Roman Republic between 509 and 27 BCE, the phalanx formation was abandoned in favour of the maniple formation, which is 3 lines of 120-man units that allowed for greater flexibility in battle. When the First Punic War began in 264 BCE, Rome was proficient in land battles against other tribes or cities, but had never taken on anyone as powerful as Carthage, who at that time controlled the Mediterranean with their fleet of ships. And Rome had no navy. Roman determination and ingenuity came into play though, and they quickly built warships and developed strategies so that, in the First Punic War, they could wage the same battles they had on land, but now at sea. The military developed further during the Second Punic War, between 218 and 201 BCE, with expansion of the role of archers, cavalry, and slingers. The Marian reforms of 107 BCE by the general Marius included the elimination of the maniple unit, which was replaced by the cohort, a unit of 480 warriors, although this number varied, comparable to the modern battalion. The army of the Roman Republic conquered Carthage and expanded Roman territory significantly throughout Asia Minor, North Africa, and the Near East, providing the foundation for the Roman Empire. The army of the empire, or the imperial army, became a professional fighting force under the reign of Augustus Caesar, the first emperor of Rome, based on voluntary service for a term of 25 years. Augustus expanded the army through auxilia, fighting forces of non-Romans, who served in support of the main columns, primarily as cavalry units. Conscription was reserved for emergencies, and both regular army and auxilia were men who chose a military career for various reasons, including the hope of surviving the 25-year term, after which they were then promised tracts of land they could never have afforded otherwise. During the time of the Republic, the Senate authorized declarations of war, but during the imperial era, the emperor made this decision. He would first consult with the clergy and diviners, who would provide favorable or unfavorable omens, and then proceeded accordingly. This policy had been observed by Roman leaders for centuries, but the structure, operation, and deployment of the imperial army was developed further during the time of the Roman Empire than ever before. Any physically fit male over the age of 17 could enlist in the army after passing a fitness and medical exam. The army favoured those who were at least 5 feet 8 inches tall or 1.75 metres, and preferred men who came from rural areas where they would have usually been more active and developed more desirable skills than city dwellers. The soldier would form part of a centuria, century, a unit of 100 men, led by a centurion. The centurion's second in command was the optio. Then came the tesserarius, who assigned guard duty and dealt with similar details. There was also the signifier, the standard bearer, and the cornican, the hornblower, who signalled orders to the troops by blowing the G-shaped instrument known as the cornu. 6 centuries made up a cohort, and 10 cohorts made up 1 legion, and a legion was commanded by a consul, a praetor, a tribune, or a legate. These positions were held by Roman aristocrats, who were expected to serve as military leaders as part of the requirements for political life. The Roman fleets of the imperial navy were commanded by a prefect appointed by the emperor, and the captain of a ship held the rank of centurion with the title triarchus. Crews of ships were soldiers recruited in the same way as the army, but rowers were usually of the lower class, prisoners of war, or slaves. The navy developed during the First Punic War, when the Romans built a fleet of 100 quinquiremes and 20 triremes. Quinquiremes had 5 banks of rowers and a covus, a plank used for holding and boarding another vessel, while the trireme had 3 banks of rowers. The smaller trireme was eventually replaced by the quadrireme, 4 banks of rowers, and the quinquireme. Like the army, the Roman navy was prepared to move swiftly to counter any threats or support land forces. Among the most famous naval conflicts was the Battle of Actium in 31 BCE, where Octavian, the future Augustus, defeated the forces of Mark Antony and Cleopatra, enabling him to found the Roman Empire. In this battle, as in almost all others, military intelligence played an important role in finding out how the enemy forces were supplied, deployed, who was commanding, and other important details. In land battles, Roman generals preferred a full frontal attack by the legions on a position, or laying siege to a city and starving the defenders out. A standard Roman army consisted of the legionaries, auxilia, cavalry, archers, and artillery, as well as field doctors, blacksmiths, cooks, scribes, carpenters, engineers, surveyors, servants, slaves, pack animals, road builders, wagons and war machines, standard bearers, and trumpeters. Once a Roman camp was established on the march, it functioned like a small city. Once an enemy was defeated, the commanding officer claimed that territory and sent the spoils back to Rome, where they were used to fund building projects. The Flavian Amphitheatre, better known as the Colosseum, was built using funds from the sack of the Temple of Jerusalem during the First Jewish-Roman War of 70 CE. The victorious commander was given a grand celebration known as a triumph upon his return to Rome, sometimes including the vanquished enemy leader or notable captives, and was crowned with a laurel in honour of his services to the state. Conquered territories were added to the empire as provinces, came under Roman rule and law, and were afterwards occupied by Roman troops who could be reinforced swiftly via the network of Roman roads that ran across the empire and enabled transport of the greatest military in the world of its time. What do you think of Roman warfare? Let us know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel so you don't miss out on any of our new uploads. This video was brought to you by World History Encyclopedia. For more great articles and interactive content, head to our website via the link below. If you like my shirt, you can find this design and a bunch more in our shop at worldhistory.store, or you can find a link for it down below. Thank you so much for watching, and we will see you soon with another video.